Drivers are going to do 50 miles an hour, get themselves into the correct order, and then once we get to the end of the formation lap, once we get to the line, the leader can go, but there's no passing before the line, so we must stay in order up until the start-finish line, and then once the drivers are crossed over the line to start what is lap 2 of 30, we'll be officially underway. So the grid order is going to be as such. It's going to be DJ Phil starting it on pole ahead of Levi Raptor in 2nd place, then Connor Boylan is going to be 3rd ahead of Smokey Devil, who will line up in 4th place, then it's going to be Ava Alfonso in 5th. Make Gaming will line up in 6th ahead of Deku in 7th. Raki will start in 8th. Part Pooper Rex 9th. Then it's going to be Ryan Ruby in 10th, followed by Ozzy Albi in 11th. Lightblade in 12th. John Boy in 13th place. Last race's winner Jay in 14th place, and Lucas Stappen will round out the grid in 15th place. It looks like we're ready to go already, so everybody's readied up pretty quickly this time around, and we're ready to go for this manual formation. Let's hope that everybody knows what they're doing here, because it can go horribly wrong, but here we are then. So yep, we're just pulling off the start line now, and away we go here. So everybody's getting themselves into order. Obviously we're getting ready for the 2nd race of the Clio Cup season here at Motive, and it's going to be an exciting one to see how it pans out with the reverse grid format. It's going to give the guys who didn't do so well in the first race an opportunity to redeem themselves well and truly in this one. So yeah, as I say, I'm stoked for this. I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant to watch, and hopefully everybody keeps it clean and tidy, and we see the drivers who were up the front in the first race showing the respect to the drivers at the front in this one. Obviously the ones who finished at the back in the first race, because we want to see clean racing, you know, regardless of how fast people are and whatnot. We want to see clean racing, we want to see fair racing, and everybody treated with respect out on the track. So anyway, we're just coming down the back straight, down towards the Parabolica, and then once we're around the last corner, and then up towards the line. Once we cross the line, we'll be officially green for the race. It will be DJ Phil setting the pace out the front. DJ Phil here, veteran of Motive Racing, looking to try and make the most of this opportunity that he's got here. Can he get a strong points position here in this race? Levi's right up behind him. I tell you what, Ava Alfonso is going to be smelling blood, P5. Mate Gaming as well, P6. We can't forget that he was up there in the first race until he had the collision. It looks like DJ Phil might have accelerated a bit here. Are we racing now? I think we might be racing, you know. I think we are underway. Yes, we are. So DJ Phil was gone. Up towards the line we come. Levi's absolutely all over the back of him here. Looking to the inside into turn 1. Is Levi going to send one here? Thinking about it, isn't he? But a little bit too far back. No, he goes for it. He's going to go. He's made the move there. Oh, we've got a crash there in the background. Oh no! As Smokey has come. No, not Smokey. Yeah, it was Smokey has come together with somebody. Smokey has had a bit of a crash there with Connor. So those two in the barriers, and WSRC. Jay getting caught up there with Connor as they get going again. Jay's not happy with that. The race winner in the first race already in the wars straight away in race 2, but it's Levi leading ahead of DJ Phil. DJ Phil sticking to the back of it at the moment. You've got Deku there running in 3rd. Ava Alfonso up into 4th. Mate Gaming up into 5th. Raki there ahead of Pulp Rex, followed by Lightblade Ryan. Ozzy Albi, John Boy there in 11th ahead of Lucas Stappen. You've got Smokey Devil Jay in 14th place now ahead of Connor. So it's not gone at all to plan for Jay. As in the background, you've got Lightblade going ever so wide there out of Parabolica on cold tyres. So Lightblade struggling in the early stages of this one. Seems to be all over the place, but Deku has taken the lead here. As we can see, we've got, well, that is strange, because Mate Gaming and Deku now up into the lead. Levi's lost out to him. Raki there running right behind them. We've got Part of Rex in the pits, and oh no! We've got a collision, and that is, oh no, hold on. John Boy now dropping down to the mid pack. So John Boy down to 8th place. Ryan looks like he made it through that. He's got a Lightblade looking to his inside down towards the Parabolica. Mate Gaming is out the front right now. He's got a 0.3 of a second gap right now over Deku as they're coming into the Parabolica. Abu Alfonso sticking to the back of them right now. He's clinging to the coattails of him as the Lightblade's going to try and make a move on Abu Alfonso. He doesn't want to see Mate Gaming and Deku disappearing off into the distance. He wants to keep onto them for as long as he possibly can. As the Lightblade's got the slipstream here down the start-finish straight. In the background, you've got Ryan and Ozzy currently going at it. These two were both in the thick of it for the race win in the first race, and this continuing to try and bring themselves up the order here. Obviously starting from the back, but the order's been shaken up here from the first lap order that we had the reverse grid based on the results from the first race. It's already been completely thrown away here, as Make Gaming now leads ahead of Deku. I said at the start of the race Make Gaming would be a contender with the obviously the shaken up grid down to the reverse grid, and he has absolutely risen to the occasion so far. Deku's trying to keep tabs with him, desperately trying to weave around and keep in that slipstream, but Make Gaming seems to be pulling away a little bit. I hate it. Every time you change camera coming into the Parabolica, the cameraman just has a spaz attack. No offence to anybody, by the way, who suffers from those. I myself am a little bit of one myself. But yeah, you know what I mean. But nonetheless, Make Gaming is still out the front. He's got just under a second here over Deku. Lightblade there running in P3 has lost a bit of time to the top two as he's been battling it out here. Oh, he's been trying to dice his way through ahead of Alvaro Alfonso. Alvaro Alfonso's lost places down to 7th. He's had a bit of a scruffy lap as Ozzy Albi's down the inside of Ryan into turn 1. Ryan, though, trying to go for the cut back here. Can he execute it to perfection? I think he has done. There's Ozzy's still there. And Ozzy just tags Ryan round. Ryan has lost the rear end as he needs to be careful rejoining the track as he gets it going. He manages to find a spot there, and he's managed to come out in 9th place there. So Ryan limiting the damage, but a little bit of a collision there with Ozzy Albi. It looked like a bit of a 50-50 between the two of them, and Ozzy Albi continues on his way. I wouldn't say that's really Ozzy's fault. It looked like a racing incident to me. But Ryan with work to do now, nearly 10 seconds behind the leaders, as he's got WSRCJ looking to the inside of him coming in towards the Parabolica, and WSRCJ gets it done up into 9th place. But these two are going to be on the warpath for the rest of this race. Still a long way to go, and still a mandatory pit stop for all of these drivers to undertake, as Make Gaming has got a 1.3 second lead out the front over Deku right now. Lightblade still on the back of Deku. You've got Ozzy Albi there running in 4th place. Has got John Boy. John Boy's weaving all over the place there, trying to break the toe on Alvaro Alfonso. Alvaro Alfonso's got Smoky Devil right up his rear, as now we can see Alvaro Alfonso looking down the inside of John Boy as well, trying to dip his nose underneath him, but can't do it. Racky's watching this unfold just behind them at the moment. Make Gaming, though, opening up a bit of a gap here. He's got a 2-second lead here over Lightblade. Lightblade's managed to get ahead of Deku up into 2nd place. Ozzy Albi's still just ahead of John Boy at the moment. It is all going off here in the opening laps here of this feature race, or rather race 2. Not really, I mean, I guess it is a feature race. You could say feature race, you could say race 2, I guess. You know, the second race of the evening, the feature race of the evening. Who knows? But at the moment, Make Gaming looking in cruise control out the front. Lightblade, though, is now in 2nd place, and now Lightblade Unleashed might be able to potentially try and tame the Make Gaming out in front. Make Gaming was in the thick of it in the first race, and then had a collision with Jay in about lap 2 or 3 of the first race. He qualified well, he had the pace of the leaders, but had a bit of a collision and drops him down the order. But now he seems to have taken his opportunity out in front, and is really wringing the neck of that Clio. But Lightblade is now, as I said before, now that he's in clean air, he can well and truly go after Make Gaming. Lightblade's already gapped Deku by over a second, who's running in 3rd place at the moment. You've got Ozzy and John Boy running in 4th and 5th, but they've lost about 5-6 seconds to the leaders. Oh, as in the background, that was Ryan there going into the wall. DJ Phil and Connor right just behind them at the moment. In fact, that's Lucas Stappen there just behind them. And in fact, it wasn't Ryan, sorry, it was Levi who went into the wall. It wasn't Ryan at all. Ryan is there, and he's currently on the back of WSRCJ. In fact, he's on the back of the mid-pack train. But nonetheless, Make Gaming's gap to Lightblade now down to 1.2. Lightblade continuing to carve that down. Deku's dropping off at the back of Lightblade. John Boy has got Ozzy looking to his outside into turn 1. Can't make it happen there, though. Ozzy's tucking in for the time being. Smoky Devil there, a bit wide coming through turn 1. Racky's got Alvaro Alfonso still hassling the back of him. WSRCJ still got Ryan on him, as these two are trying to make gains, but they're not really closing the gap to the leaders. That gap's been about 10 seconds for the last 3 laps or so, so they're not really making the gains that they would like to be. Make Gaming is keeping the gap now at 1.2 over Lightblade. Lightblade, though, is just letting Make Gaming know his presence. He's making little steps here and there, as he's still got just over a second to Deku at this point. John Boy and Ozzy have closed the gap to Make Gaming a bit. The gap's now under 5 seconds to those two who are running in 4th and 5th places. Are they working together? Are they trying to help each other propel themselves towards the front? Who knows? But it looks like they are definitely just cooperating with each other at this point. Whether that will change once they get onto the back of this lead pack, who knows? But at this point, they're obviously swallowing their pride and having and just doing a bit of teamwork. Smoky Devil, WSRCJ, Alvaro Alfonso, Raki and Ryan. This is a 5-car battle for 6th place. These guys don't really want to be tripping over each other, though, because all they want to be doing at this point is gaining on the leaders at the moment. They're hopelessly detached, but you can see the leaders not too far in front of them. There's Mate Gaming and Lightblade 6/10 apart from the top two in this race. Deku there still running in third place. Has got John Boy and Aussie really gaining hand over fist on him at this point. Deku's going to have John Boy and Aussie in his rearview mirrors in a couple of laps, you would think, surely. But Mate Gaming still out the front. It's got 6/10 of a second over Lightblade at the moment. Deku there in third. John Boy and Aussie still in hot pursuit, and somebody's off. Somebody's wide. Avo Alfonso's off onto the gravel there, out of the Parabolica. Loses a bit of time there to Ryan and Raki. Well, he lost time to Raki. Raki's fallen off at the back of Ryan, actually, and Jay. So Raki's down to 9th and is losing time to the leaders. But Avo Alfonso there has had an absolute mare and is losing quite a bit to the mid-pack runners. In the meantime, though, Mate Gaming and Lightblade still 3/10 apart. Deku's well and truly fallen off for the top two and has now got John Boy and Aussie for company here. As let's jump on board with Aussie Alba, you can see that John Boy's made the move on Deku down the back straight and is just slotting into position there. Deku there having a little look, just trying to distract him again, but John Boy's got that move done. Back up into that final podium position here now. Aussie will be trying to pick him off as well. Aussie's been running with John Boy for the last few laps. He'll be fancying his chances here on Deku. Deku a bit wide though, and Aussie not able to make anything happen just there, as he had to get out of it a bit. I think maybe Deku's excursion just caught him unawares there, and he didn't really forecast that one, but tucked in for the time being. Aussie now losing a bit of time to John Boy whilst he's stuck behind Deku at this point, as Jay still running in sixth with Smokey and Ryan right behind him. Aussie Albie still looking around the outside of Deku. Deku hovering that inside line coming through turn one. No opportunities there for Aussie Albie. Smokey just behind Jay has got Ryan really hassling him. Jay's managed to clear Smokey. Now Ryan will be wanting to do the same, as the gap between Jay and the leaders is coming down. So Jay is now 8.5 seconds off of Mate Gaming. He's brought the gap down by about a second or two over the last few laps or so. So Jay now starting to get into his stride. Are we going to see a similar race to what we saw in the first race from Jay, has been dropping off due to an incident and then managing to claw his way back again? Not too much damage on that car, so he's got the potential to do so. In the meantime, we've got a battle for the lead here. Lightblade's now looking on the back of Mate Gaming. Down the start finish straight they come. These two have broken away a little bit from the rest of them over the course of this feature race. Here goes the Lightblade now. Mate Gaming lets him past. So Mate Gaming maybe just playing the tactical game here. Doesn't want to mess around too much. Doesn't want to try and halt both of their progress. Maybe thinks that their best chance of one of them winning this race is to just work together here. But Lightblade nonetheless your new race leader here on lap 11 of the race. John Boy running in third has managed to gap Aussie Albie. Aussie Albie obviously was stuck behind Deku for a little while. He's now managed to clear Deku. Deku's still on the back of Aussie Albie at this point, but now 2 seconds between John Boy and Aussie Albie. WSL CJ is coming after these guys there in 6th place. He's bringing the gap down by quite a bit. Smokey Devil, to be fair to him, hasn't completely fallen off of Jay here. Neither is Ryan. Smokey and Ryan still there. Still kind of just clinging to the slipstream of WSR CJ at the moment. Lightblade still leading the race by half a second. Avo Alfonso is still pretty close to the back of Raki at this point, running in 9th and 10th places. These two, you've got Levi and Connor having a good little scrap here for 11th and 12th places. Lucas Stafford running in 13th place. Obviously wasn't able to make his debut in the sprint race because he didn't ready up, but he's running in 13th place at the moment, in fact 12th now, because Levi's gone wide. So Lucas Stafford picks that position up into 12th. DJ Phil there running in P14. Part Pooper Rex had a nightmare over the first couple of laps to this race. He's down in P15. He's just bringing it home for a couple of points here in this one. This is not how he would have wanted this race to go, that is for sure. Lightblade still out the front though. He's got a 6/10 of a second gap over Mate Gaming at this point. John Boy there running in third ahead of Deku. WSR CJ still going in P5. Has got Smokey there in 6th ahead of Ryan. And then it's a big gap back to Raki and Abu Alfonso running in 8th and 9th places. Mate Gaming though trying to come back at Lightblade here. Ryan's pretty close on the back of Smokey. Abu Alfonso trying to pressure Raki. Lucas Staffen giving Connor some here, coming down towards the Parabolica, and DJ Phil trying to get onto the back. And what's happened to Aussie Albie? What has happened to Aussie Albie? Has he made his pit stop? He has made his pit stop, yes. He's been into the pits. Okay, so that's all right. Aussie Albie's been into the pits, so he's now got that pit stop done and out of the way. So has Levi. So Levi's in the box and off and away he goes. The question is, did Part Pooper Rex come in? I think Part Pooper Rex has been in as well. So I think that Part Pooper Rex has made his start as Levi's weaving around there in the pits. Don't know what he's doing there. So I think the Part Pooper Rex came in very early on, so he's done his pit stop already. He's probably going to come out in about 6th or 7th, I would imagine. We'll have to wait and see, but Yeah, or I don't know, maybe not. Maybe about P8, I don't know. It's going to be quite close with Raki, I'd have to say. Lightblade and Make still going at it for the lead here. They've got 4 seconds back to John Boy. John Boy's matching the 2 leaders out the front, but he's just got too much of a gap really at this point to really overhaul them. He's going to have to hope that he has a quick pit stop and that those 2 at the front don't, or that they just have a tangle or something. As Raki there saying in the comments, he's got damage. He's still going at the moment, hasn't come into the pits. So he's keeping it out there for the time being. He's got Avo Alfonso on the back of him. Smokey Devil and Lucas Stappen both in the pits. So they're obviously joining Part Pooper X, Connor and Levi as the drivers who have been in. So far, Smokey, Lucas, Part Pooper X, Connor and Levi have all been into the pits. The rest of them have still got to come in and make their mandatory pit stop at some point. Lightblade and Make Gaming, though, showing no signs of coming in for their pit stops just yet. 4 tenths between the 2 leaders coming over the line here to complete lap 15. Half distance here in just under 5 seconds off of these guys there in 3rd place. He's lapping just about a 1/10 of a second off of Make Gaming's pace. He's matching Lightblade, but the thing is, he doesn't need to be matching him, he needs to be gaining on him, and at the moment he's not going to be able to do that. He's not gaining enough, and unless these 2 at the front, as I said before, make a mistake in the pit stops or just have a bit of a dodgy pit stop, it's not going to be John Boy's night here in this feature race. Jay running in 4th place, the winner in the sprint race earlier on. He's got work to do if he wants to finish on the podium tonight. 5 seconds behind John Boy. Deku's keeping to the back of Jay despite losing out to him. So Deku driving a solid race here in this feature race on some good points as it stands so far. Raki into the pits here to get that damage repaired, and he's now off and away. He's going to slot in, I think. Well, he'll slot in way ahead of Connor. So he's behind Part of Hooper Rex and ahead of Connor. So there is Raki out onto the track once again. Connor's there just coming down the start-finish straight, so Raki's well ahead of Connor by about 10 or 15 seconds. So yeah, he's definitely done the bits there. Ryan also into the pits here at the end of lap 16 for him. Avo Alfonso there coming around, continuing on his way. So Ryan, the latest driver to come into the pits. So that's Smokey's been in, I think, as well now. So Smokey, so Ozzy Albi, Smokey, Part Pooper, Raki, Connor, Lucas Stappen and Levi have all been in the pits. So it's just the top 6 now that need to come in. Ryan's also done his pit stop, and he comes out just a little bit behind Ozzy Albi. Ozzy Albi's really won the lottery here with these pit stops. Ryan has come out ahead of Smokey. He's come out behind one of the lapped runners here. That's Levi there, I think, who's in between Ozzy and Ryan. It is Levi there, just between us. So you see Ozzy there. In the foreground, obviously, you've got... Actually, who is that? That's a good point. It's Lucas Stappen there in the foreground. Then you've got Ozzy Albi there just coming through your shot. There's Ryan just behind the lap car of Levi. Okay, so that's the situation there as Lightblade and John Boy both in the pits. Lightblade was obviously in a battle with Make Gaming for the win. He's now emerging from the pit lane and he's just ahead of Avo Alfonso. So that's crucial for him. He won't get traffic. He's not going to have to negotiate Avo Alfonso here in this race. Jazzman there put a comment in, then retracted it and then said Project Cars 2 still going. Yeah, can't get enough of it, mate. Honestly, it's a bit boring just racing GT cars. You know, you want to switch it up a bit of Clios, bit of touring cars, GT5s. That's what we're running over the course of the week here at Motive. So yeah, bringing it back. And yeah, I must say I was pretty happy to see the turnout tonight. Really awesome to see a full grid of cars. Make Gaming into the pits here, so he's now the next driver to make that pit stop. I think Avo Alfonso still needs to come into the pits to make his stop. Lightblade has been in, so Make Gaming, where's he going to come out in relation to Lightblade? Obviously these two were in a battle for the lead before. Where is Lightblade? Has Lightblade got the jump on Make Gaming? It's going to be close. Yes, Lightblade's done him. Lightblade has got the move done, so he's kept on to P1, what is a net P1 obviously in this race, with WSR CJ and Deku still yet to come into the pit. So Lightblade and Make Gaming joined at a hit pit. Avo Alfonso just behind them still got a pit. Ozzy Albi's been in, so has John Boy, so has Ryan. This could potentially be a battle for the podiums alongside WSR CJ and Deku, who are still running in first and second, but as we said before, still yet to pit here in this race. But Deku could be on for a pretty solid top 5 here in this feature race. WSR CJ is going to be chasing a podium, I'm sure of that. He's now coming through the pits. So it is just Deku and Alvaro Alfonso now who are still yet to fit in this race. DJ Phil's made his pit stop, so it is just Deku and Alvaro Alfonso now who need to come in, and then we'll have all made our pit stops here for this feature race. Alvaro Alfonso is now coming in, so it's just Deku that we're waiting on for to make that pit stop, which you can make any time before now and the end of the race. Lightblade, your net race leader, still having a good battle with Mate Gaming at this point. Where's Jay going to come out? He's just behind Ozzy and John Boy. Is he going to come out behind Ryan as well? Yeah, Ryan comes out ahead of Jay. So Ryan there, P6. As through turns 1 and 2 he comes. So WSRCJ P7's got work to do. Question is, where's Deku going to come out? Because that's going to definitely shake things up. If Deku can the question is, can Deku come out with these guys? I didn't see what sort of pit stop Jay got. If Jay got the fast pit stop, then Deku hasn't got much hope of coming out in the thick of it. But if Jay got a slow stop, then quite feasibly we could be seeing Deku coming out right in the midst of this pack. Deku's in and out of the pit box now, so he's now off and away. John Boy, Ozzy, Ryan and Jay, this 4-car train now coming down the start-finish straight. Where is Deku? Deku's just coming to the end of the pit lane now. Here come the train of cars. The cavalry's arriving here in this battle for the podiums. Deku is out of the pits, and where is he? He's just coming out now. So there we see John Boy, Ozzy moving through ahead of Deku, but Deku crucially slots in between John Boy and Ozzy and Ryan and Jay. So Deku's jumped Jay in the pits. Despite Jay getting ahead of him on the track, Deku's come out ahead of him and ahead of Ryan as well. So it's now a 5-car battle for the podium spots. John Boy, Ozzy, Deku, Ryan and Jay. These 5 guys separated by 2 seconds, as it looks like it's now a 2-horse race for the win here between Lightblade and Mate Gaming. They're over 10 seconds clear of the rest of them. 4/10 of a second currently separating these two here on lap 21 of this race. Coming over the line here, 9 laps left to go. Getting towards the business end of the race. Lightblade would love to take a win here in this one. It was a solid opening race of the season here for him. I reckon as it stands in this race, Lightblade could stand a good chance of taking the championship lead. Again, not 100% sure. I'll obviously have to get that filled in afterwards. But yeah, Lightblade could be in with a solid chance of taking the championship lead right now. Just have to see how this one goes. But yeah, Lightblade half a second ahead of Mate Gaming at this point. You've got John Boy there, still leading the charge for the podium spot. So he's actually got a bit of a gap into Ozzy now. John Boy seems to have broken away ever so slightly from this pack behind him. Ozzy, Ryan, Deku there has been passed by Ryan, as Ryan is now looking down the inside here. In fact, as Deku just sends one back down the inside. Oh, tell you what, aggressive stuff there. Jay, sending one down the inside. Deku, I do apologise, and squeezes through ahead of him. Ryan also there moving ahead of Deku. And Ryan now looking around the outside, Deku tucking back into that slipstream there. But this is giving John Boy a chance to pull away. It's giving Ozzy Albi once again that tag of being the one who's trying to keep to the car ahead. As Jay very deep, very deep. Ryan gets the cut back on him there and executes that one brilliantly. Deku there gets caught up behind these guys, down to P7 now. Not the situation that Deku would have wanted right there. But this has allowed John Boy to pull out a bit of a gap to these guys. He looks pretty set now in that final podium spot, unless the others can get in line and start working together. And John Boy has also got Lucas Stephanie just ahead. Oh no! We've got a crash here right behind them. The battle for the 4th place here. What has gone on there? As Deku is involved, Ryan as well. So Ryan, Deku and Jay coming together. They've all got damage by the looks of it. Ryan is missing his entire... Well, he's missing his rear windscreen. And Deku, what about Deku? Deku's missing he's got his front bumper hanging off, and he's missing his bonnet. And, well, relatively speaking, Jay has got off pretty lightly once again without too much damage here. But Ryan is definitely going to be struggling in the last couple of laps, as is Deku. And now Part Pooper Rex is right in this battle here. Part Pooper Rex could be on for a P5, especially with the damage for the guys ahead of him. He could be smelling blood here, and potentially a few more points here for him. Ozzy Albi was caught up a little bit in that incident, but kind of managed to make his way through it. As he's running in 4th place, it's going to be a lonely last few laps of the race for him. He's way behind John Boy. John Boy's got the P3 in the bag. The 2 leaders still going at it, Lightblade and Make. We're going to come back to them in the closing laps. But right now we've got a developing situation here between Ryan, Deku, Jay and Part Pooper Rex. And as I said before, Part Pooper Rex may be sensing a big opportunity here to make something happen. Oh, it's Jay's wide. Jay with the damage has gone straight into the gravel there on the exit of Parabolica. Jay really struggling there. So I said before he didn't have much damage by the looks of it, but clearly he's got a bit of damage that just isn't really showing itself too prominently, as he's now just being unlapped there by Lucas Stappen. So Lucas Stappen comes through, but Deku's still on the back of Ryan. He's still trying to keep onto the back of him, but Ryan's managed to pull out a bit of a gap. He's now got Part Pooper Rex looking around the outside of him. Part Pooper Rex will want to try and pick him off cleverly here. Doesn't want to go charging in too heavily at this point, but he knows that Deku's got damage, and Ryan here just in front of them also carrying a little bit of a scratch as well. Lightblade and Mate Gaming have started lap 26, 5 laps left to go for these two, as they have got a back marker just behind them in the shape of Connor. Oops. But yeah, 0.4 of a second currently separating Lightblade and Mate Gaming at this point. Deku has still got WSRC J right behind. In fact, Jay's got ahead of Deku here, so Deku must have gone a bit wide there coming through the Parabolica. Jay's now up into 6th place, and so I don't know, maybe his incident coming on the exit of Parabolica last lap was maybe a driver error, because again, he doesn't seem to have that much damage now. I said earlier he didn't have much damage, then I changed my mind when I saw him go straight on at Parabolica, but maybe that was just a driver error, because he seems to have the least damage of all of them here. It's a bit of a slide there coming through turn 1, but he's done Smoky Devil there up into 6th. Smoky has also got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits as well, so he's got to charging in at some point. Deku here right behind Smoky Devil. Part Pooper Rex is a couple of seconds behind him at this point, as Part Pooper Rex there in the background of this went into the wall ever so slightly there coming out of Ascari. Raki and Navo Alfonso battling it out over 10th and 11th places. We haven't really had too much to say about them. They've just been under the radar a bit with all the other battles that have been going on over the course of this race. Connor is just behind the two leaders, Lightblade and Mate Gaming, obviously a lap down on them, running in 12th place. As Ryan has now cleared WSRC, and WSRC and Deku must have had some kind of collision, because they are well behind Ryan. They're about 7 seconds behind. Now we can see Smokey making a move on Deku down the inside into turn 1. Deku losing the space, always trying to keep it there, but Smokey manages to complete that move. Nicely done there from Smokey. Bit of a tap, bit aggressive, but Robbins racing from the pair of them there, and through they go. Lightblade and Mate now started the third last lap of the race, lap 28 of 30. Still not very much separating these two at all. I have a feeling that Mate's just waiting until the last couple of laps to really stage a bit of a rally here. He just needs to keep himself there, as we've got absolute chaos here in the mid-pack. Jay, Smokey, Deku currently really fighting here. Oh, bit of a slide there from Smokey as he turns it on Deku, and there's a crash there between the two of them. As Smokey there gets a big tap in the rear there. Deku continues on his way, but that's allowed Part Pooper Rex through and up into P6 as Aussie Albie's disconnected. Oh no, Aussie Albie was running in a solid P4 there, and he's disconnected. That's going to move everybody up a position. Part Pooper Rex though laughing his way up into P6 there, with Smokey and Deku coming together. Jay in 5th place is a long way behind Ryan, but solid points there for Jay after taking the win in the first race. He'll be continuing that momentum. I think Lightblade though, if he can keep onto this lead that he's got at the moment, will be taking the championship lead. But having said that, they've got a bit of traffic here, as we see DJ Phil getting well out of the way of the two leaders, Lightblade and Mate. Now they've got some more traffic in the shape of Lucas Stappen, I think. No, it's not Lucas Stappen. It is somebody else. Avo Alfonso, I think, just in front of the leaders here. Lightblade, flashing like mad. Doesn't want any of this. Doesn't want these guys to be causing him any interferences as they're about to start the last lap of the race. This is the last thing that Lightblade would have wanted at this point, would be back markers getting involved in his tussle for the win with Mate Gaming. Here they come out of the Parabolica. They're about to start the final lap of the race, and Mate Gaming at this point is just going to be sizing up an opportunity here. He's going to be sensing that he might have a strong chance of making something happen as they're coming down the start-finish straight. Final lap of the race here. Lightblade and Mate Gaming, as a very sportsman-like there from Avo Alfonso, gets well out of the way of the leaders. They've now got a bit more traffic in the shape of Raki and Deku. Raki's done Deku up into the 8th place. Deku's been going backwards in the last couple of laps as he gets wide there. Oh, needs to stay out of the way here for the leaders. Needs to be consistent, and he does so. Lightblade still leads, but Mate Gaming will be wanting to tuck into that slipstream here. He's done Deku now, and Mate Gaming 3/10 of a second. This is going to be a close battle here. They have got a back marker just in front of them, and Raki decides to bail, I think. He does, yeah, he gets out of the way. Lightblade flash the lights. Here they come into the final corner. The Parabolica for the final time. Lightblade has the lead. Mate Gaming, though, seems to have got a pretty solid exit out of the corner. He's looking to the inside. They're going to be side by side all the way up towards the line. Lightblade's got it. Mate Gaming's coming towards him now. Here they come up towards the line. Mate Gaming's pipped him. Lightblade, though, going for the side up towards the line. They come. Oh, it's so close. Oh, Mate Gaming's just done it. Mate Gaming pips Lightblade at the very end of the race. What a race from those two. Mate Gaming takes the feature race ahead of Lightblade. John Boy is going to come up towards the line to take third place. Solid drive from John Boy, all things considered, picking up some good points. I think John Boy will be the championship leader after tonight, but we will get those updated on the Discord. So guys, check out that, and we'll keep your eyes out for that. Ryan Ruby will come out of the last corner. It's going to be a 4th place finish here for Ryan. I'm sure he's not going to be too disappointed with that after a bit of a chaotic race there for him. In truth, but Part Pooper Rex coming out of the last corner. It's going to be a P5 here for Part Pooper Rex. He managed to just make advantage of everybody else having problems in front of him. P5 there, great result for him. WSRCJ P6 in the end. The winner from the sprint race didn't have the race in the feature, and that is that for all the drivers on the lead lap. So Deku was the last driver on the lead lap, I think. In fact, no, he wasn't. Sorry, Smokey. In fact, no, Jay was the last driver on the lead lap. Only 6 drivers on the lead lap. That just goes to show the dominance that Mate Gaming and Lightblade had in that feature race. Those two were on another level. Smokey Devil finishes in 7th, ahead of Raki in 8th. Deku 9th, ahead of Avo Alfonso 10th. Connor in 11th place, ahead of Levi 12th, followed by Lucas Staffen, who finishes in 13th place. DJ Phil a couple of laps down in 14th. But what a race, and what a night of action we've had here in the Clio Cup. Oh, it was an absolute pleasure to commentate on that, and what a season we've got on our hands here. So close between the top drivers. Mate Gaming in the thick of it, Lightblade, John Boy, Ryan, Jay was right in there in the first race as well, and plenty more who I think are going to be a force to reckon with on the more conventional circuits that we're going to be going to over the course of this season. Guys, if you did enjoy, please smash that like button. The drivers out on track, please share it with your friends and your family if you enjoyed the racing and enjoyed watching the stream back. We'll see you guys next week for the Clio Cup. Make sure you tune in, same place, same time next Monday for round 2 of the season for the Clios. We will be at Rapuna Park for round 2 of the season. So yeah, definitely tune in next week. Also, we'll be live on Thursday night for the touring cars at Alton Park, 8:30 p.m. BST on Thursday night for that one. And Friday night, we will be live for the GT5 Geneta Cup. Which I've actually forgotten where it is. I've actually forgotten where we are for round 1. Snetterton is where we are for the first round of the Geneta Cup on Friday night, so also be sure to check that out. But we'll be on ACC in a couple of the nights on Wednesday for the opening round of the GT3 League. That will be also at Alton Park, so we're at Alton Park 2 nights in a row. We didn't really plan that one out very well. Apologies for that, that's my doing. Yep. Check out tomorrow. 2 days time will be on ACC for that. Also Sunday night we'll be live for the GT3 Sprint Championship on ACC as well, and we will be, do you know what, I don't know where we are, but I'm sure it's going to be great, so tune in for that. And also we need some drivers for that, so if you play on ACC, if you're interested in that, then check that out. But once again guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who joined us here tonight. Thanks to everybody who liked, thanks to all the drivers, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers everybody, and good night.